Hi everybody, I'm Pamela Atwood, gerontologist, certified dementia practitioner, and certified laughter leader. Welcome back to our Caregiver series, our Confident Caregiver series. Tonight we're going to be exploring the most popular topic when we do an Aging Care Academy series. And again, you can always look at our website, www.agingcareacademy.org, part of Hebrew Healthcare. One of the things that is our most popular topic, or one of the most popular topics, is the legal and financial planning issues. So the night that we have a lawyer come out, and in no way is this workshop here presented on YouTube supposed to be a replacement for your legal and financial planning session with an attorney. I am not an attorney. I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, a financial wizard. Not even close. But I do know what some of the topics are that you need to discuss for your legal and financial security when you're dealing with aging services and long-term care needs for older adults. This is not just for people with dementia. This is for any kind of older adult or dependent care where it's going to be long-term. So some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight are the issues that you need to review with an attorney, what you can do by yourself and what you need an attorney's help for, and then a little bit at the end about how to survive this whole process, because it can be very, very daunting. Now, this is just like eating any other elephant. Best if you just do it one bite at a time. So none of this should all be done in one night, 1 week, 1 month even, but it's something that you do need to get working on if you are a caregiver. Okay, so number one, you need to kind of get the finances in order. Now, in the olden days, what, 10 years ago, we had to go down to the bank and put our name on our parents' checkbook, and we had to change all of the accounts. Some of that you still might want to do, but with the electronic and digital online bill paying now, a lot of that can be done much more easily. And those kinds of services that are available make it much easier for caregivers in general to assist with some of that financial planning and kind of helping with that bill payment. But financial planning, that's not all we're talking about. When we're dealing with the financial planning, we're also talking about how to plan out the expenses associated with aging services. So for instance, in Connecticut, where I live, as you can see, we had a beautiful snowy day yesterday, about a foot of snow where I live, and here we have a wonderful program called the Home Care Program for Elders, the Connecticut Home Care Program for Elders. It's a great program. It's literally designed to keep people out of nursing homes as long as possible. However, there's a lot of financial looking. They want to know, do you have lots of money? Are you spending it frivolously? Are you gifting it away? Those sorts of things. So the financial review really does have parameters on income and assets, depending on the level of the program. And that's the kind of financial planning that I'm talking about that you as a caregiver need to know about. You need to know about benefits that may be available in the community. For respite, there may be respite grants or respite programs in your area. There may be home care waiver programs. There may be grants that are available to pay for adult day programs or senior day centers, etc. Transportation support. So there are a lot of resources that are available in the community. One of the best ways that we as Americans can find those resources is to call or contact online your local area agency on aging. They have a lot of resources and information available. This is part of the Administration on Aging, which is a governmental division agency, and it's part of the Aging Americans Act. It's certainly not new programs, but a lot of times people don't know about it, because where would you rather want your tax dollars to go? Advertising that these programs are available, or paying for the support that you could be getting as a caregiver for older adults? So you want to get those kinds of affairs in order. You also want to learn about different things, like where is the important paperwork? Where's the information on the insurance policies, the life insurance, the long-term care insurance policy? Where are those kinds of papers? Are they hidden? If the person has a cognitive impairment, they may have hidden those papers, or they may have stored them in a place where burglars would never look, like in the burners of the stove. I've had clients who do that. So it's very important that you be aware of where the paperwork is and what resources are available. There are also benefits that your older adult family member or loved one may have eligibility for that you're not even aware of, that he or she may not be aware of. For instance, Any veteran who had boots on the ground during the Vietnam War, if they get Parkinson's disease, it's a presumptive diagnosis that it's from their time in service, mostly because of Agent Orange. So if the person has Parkinson's and you know that they were boots on the ground veteran during Vietnam, you need to call the VA right away and contact them. It's a presumptive diagnosis. You don't have to go through extra testing or verification. What happens then is that's not only important for benefits for the client, but also for their survivors. So those are things that you need to know about, you need to explore a little bit. All right, the next one is make photocopies, especially if your loved one has a cognitive impairment. I'll bet you money, dimes to donuts, they're going to lose their wallet at some point. You want to have copies of the information on their insurance cards, their Medicare card, their Social Security card, their driver's license, all of those things that it would be a real pain in the tush to have to get resent out to you or verify identity if it gets stolen or lost. So make photocopies of those things so that if the information is lost, then it's not as much of a crisis. A lot of times when we're talking about confident caregivers, we're talking about crisis management. We're talking about crisis avoidance, if at all possible. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the financial issues and legal issues that you need to know to take care of. Paperwork. Legal paperwork, power of attorney. A lot of people know about a power of attorney. In some states now they have what they call a power of attorney for health care, which may be different than your business actions. Your ability to control real estate or sell real estate on behalf of somebody, your ability to handle the financial issues. Healthcare power of attorney is slightly different, or in some states it might be called a healthcare agent. It's in most states not required that you complete that paperwork with an attorney. But if your family is like most families, there's going to be someone in the family who questions the legitimacy of that paperwork unless it's done with an attorney. Sometimes even if it's done with an attorney, in which case you're definitely going to want to be able to have your attorney say, yeah, I can verify, and I, as a lawyer, will testify that this was done when they were of sound mind, that this was their choice, etc. It's really important to consider that legal papers be done with the assistance of an attorney just to protect yourself and, again, avoid that crisis. The other thing is not just about power of attorney, but you can also do advance directives. This, a lot of people know about a living will. You can say, I don't want... I shouldn't say that. A lot of people get confused. When I say a living will, they think that I'm talking about a financial will or a will for the property that a person has. So they'll say, oh, well, I already did a will with my attorney. A living will is really also actually about dying. So it's about what are your choices? What are the options that you have at end of life? So when you are permanently unconscious or have a fatal condition, do you want to be resuscitated? Do you want a breathing machine? Do you want feeding tubes? Do you want emergency surgeries or extraordinary measures of any kind? This is an important conversation to have not only with your attorney, but also your medical professional, your clergy, your kids, your best friend, whomever it is. This is a conversation that you really need to be having with all the people who are involved in your care. Not only do you have the right to say, don't do these things to me, you need to know that until you put it in writing, all of those things are going to be done for you. There are some cases where a physician will say there's medical futility. It's a very difficult position, though, and healthcare professionals, unfortunately, are often put in a position where they have to be the ones to make these very uncomfortable decisions with children or spouses who are suffering and who are scared and who are grieving. You don't want to ever have to put your family through this. So make sure you get these paperworks done even now. I'm in my 40s. I've got mine. So make sure that you're getting that done. Again, it doesn't have to be done with a lawyer, but it will be done right. It will be done right within all the parameters of your state's laws if it is done with a lawyer. And then make sure everybody who needs it has a photocopy of it, your physician, your clergy, your spouse, your children, etc. The last thing that I wanted to talk about tonight was about financial planning and paying for elder care issues. Now, for this, you really must use an elder care attorney. While you're working on the financial issues, that elder law attorney can also help you with the legal papers that I just mentioned, the advanced directives, the power of attorney, etc. But when we're talking about how to pay for elder care, a lot of times assisted livings in my area, $3,000 a month to $8,000 a month. Nursing homes, $10,000 to $15,000 a month or more, and that doesn't include the medications. So very impossible for most people to pay for that out of their own savings or out of their own pocket. Some people have long-term care insurance policies, as I mentioned at the beginning of the program, but for most of us, what we're doing is we are legally spending down our private assets until the point that Medicaid will take over. Now, Medicaid is the health insurance based on income and assets, originally created health insurance for the poverty-stricken. Medicare is health insurance for old age pensioners. This is what it was described as in 1965. So for people who are on Medicare, are also on Social Security. Now, nowadays, we can also have Medicare for people who are younger, who are on Social Security disability. With Medicare, there are certain parameters of you have to have paid in for 10 quarters into the system, and Social Security has to be in for X number of years, etc. Medicare is different than Medicaid. Medicare only pays for things short term. A lot of my clients say, oh, I don't have to worry about that nursing home cost because they're on Medicare. Wrong. Medicare will only pay for a nursing home for a short period of time. Then it's out of pocket, out of your private savings, out of the assets in your home, out of whatever long-term care insurance policy you have until you qualify for Medicaid. Qualifying for Medicaid, you can't just like gift away your assets and say, okay, kids, you take the house, I'm going to go live in the nursing home and go on Medicaid. The state looks back, and you have to know the laws because every state is a little bit different because Medicaid is a state and federal joint program. So you need to work with an elder law attorney to learn about Medicaid. Most importantly, please, 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 if you are a spouse, you do not have to become impoverished providing the care for your family member. It's really important that your husband or wife get the care that he or she needs, but you shouldn't be impoverished by doing that. So don't go through all of your assets and pay down everything, because there is a way to save some assets for the surviving spouse if the loved one needs to go into a nursing home. Oh my goodness. So go to an elder law attorney. Remember, these are difficult and complicated conversations. You can always contact me as a care consultant. I'm happy to consult with people and explain it differently if you need me to explain it in a different way. But talk to an elder law attorney for the legal and financial advice. My favorite quote for tonight is actually from E.E. Cummings, and that is, "There is no wasted day except for that without laughter, or one without laughter." And I believe that that's true. So true, in fact, that I'm going to pair it with tonight's topic, which was very dry and technical and not at all fun. But we have to protect ourselves. So when you're dealing with legal and financial issues, make sure you protect your own mental health. Reward yourself. If I make it through these bills tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down with Ellen DeGeneres' great book, or I'm going to listen to the audiobook that I just got from Tina Fey or whatever, and especially if you're listening to audiobooks, you get to hear the comedians narrate the books in their own syntax, their own voice, etc. So I love doing that. Whatever it is you do, make sure you integrate some laughter into your day. Okay, confident caregivers, continue to follow me here on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram at Pamela.Atwood. And of course, you can check out agingcareacademy.org, all of which is part of HebrewHealthcare.org. Thanks a lot and have a great night.